Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bad Calls, Balls, and Brawls. It's your host, 305 Sportsman, co-host Miami Lou, and we have a special guest today. But before we get into that, I don't know about you guys, but being a Dolphins fan, my ESPN alert has been going off like nonstop the last 3 days. And every time it goes off, like at first, the whole Jalen Ramsey thing, like that blew Lou off his rocker. He was like, what?
Incredible.
And then more, and then the Jets quarterback, and then this and that. So it got to the point where yesterday my ESPN alert kept going off, and it was just like Red Sox spring training. And he was like, what is it? I'm like, it's just Red Sox spring training. So it is a wonderful time to be a Dolphins fan. So many exciting moves. Obviously, we were so set on Rick Fangio. Why did I say Rick? I said
Vic Fangio.
Rick.
You think about another Rick.
You know what Rick I'm thinking about.
You're going to ask our
I'm thinking
guest
about Daddy Rick coming to, you know where. My head's all Rick. Vic Fangio, that was obviously the biggest offseason move with the Dolphins. And then all of a sudden, Jalen Ramsey. And, I mean, it's just stacking up at this point. So we will get into that later. But today we have a special guest. Appropriately enough, it is March. I just found out it's Lou's favorite month. So when we get married, I guess it is going to be March. Or it won't actually because everything is like so backed up in March. I'm just learning this after almost 3 years. And he gave you the reasons last week. We went over all the reasons why Lou loves March. But
I got to tell a quick story. So one of a good friend had his wedding actually, and we're going to get to our guest. This is, something that he had a tremendous experience at. It might have even been his game, but he got married on Saturday of the Final Four.
You went? This guy's wedding?
We went to the wedding, and then everybody is around the bar watching this game, and the wife came out and said, hey, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, listen, this is your fault. You chose to get married on Final Four weekend.
Gross.
You got to deal with
Who
the
does
consequences.
that? We got to figure out when his wedding, our guest's wedding, because I'm sure he's with the mindset of us that he planned that out well.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So
let's start. Let's get him in.
So yeah, but no. So the March Madness Selection Sunday was Sunday. We had a lot of people like go out and have parties. When it comes to Super Bowls or big events, we don't leave the couch. Yeah. We're like the most social people, but when it comes to those big things, like so we posted up on the couch, cheering on. Some we knew about, some were like a shock. And we kind of just watched and played along. And my brother sent me his picks, so I have to analyze his stuff for him. But without further ado, special guest tonight. You guys will know him. You don't even have to be from Miami. So he's not a Miami familiar face per se to maybe we are Dolphin fans. But if you follow Miami sports, obviously you'll know him. Currently assistant coach for the FIU Panthers. I can't. Can I say RAR? Or is that just?
You could roll.
Okay, Panthers. I always think like the Florida Panthers. So I'm like on my RAR status. But even before he has this great career in coaching college basketball, he had an amazing career in college basketball himself, which not many people can say.
That's right.
I mean, so without further ado, excited to bring in.
We got some theme music.
I don't even get theme music when I come in. I thought you'd at least play Barbie Girl for me or something.
Good theme music right there. I'm a big fan of that song.
All right, here we go.
It is Joey Rodriguez in the house joining us. Joey, thank you for coming on.
For sure, man. Appreciate you guys having me on.
No, it's awesome to have you, especially during obviously March Madness starting this week. This is the time where I do lose my boyfriend for the next 3 weeks, which is actually at this point okay. The first 2 years I was like, no, why? Because I couldn't watch it with you because obviously my team hasn't had a great 3 years under Mike Anderson. But it's okay now. Enjoy.
Yes, I will. I told her, I said, listen, the next couple of weekends, I'm going to be sitting on the couch just watching college basketball. So there's nothing like it.
Not like this. This first weekend's the best one, too. Like, you got all the games. You got all the upsets. I mean, you're sitting on the couch all day getting a chance to watch really good basketball. So ain't nothing like the first weekend of March Madness.
So I want to ask you, so we were just talking about, like, marriage and stuff. When's your wedding anniversary? You didn't get married in March, did you?
It's in February. February.
Oh, that's Super Bowl, and we're hopeful Dolphin fans, so it could never be like February. That would be tough.
That would be tough.
February wouldn't work for us.
Late February.
Late February, but then you're in then All-Star break for Miami Heat. Late February may work. He's a smart man. He's a smart man. Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the show. We're excited to have you tonight.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, so before we get into this year's tournament and your picks and what you foresee happening, I want to just relive the incredible and historic run that you had in 2011 with the VCU Rams. This was your senior year, and it was also the second year for this young up and coming coach Shaka Smart. which right now is a very popular choice to get
Rushing the
back.
Big East, I know. Trust me.
Hopefully he's national coach of the year. He deserves it with the turnaround he's done there, man. Like, they were picked 9, and he's right in his element. Pure basketball school. I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so back then, you guys were playing in the Colonial Athletic Association in that conference, and you finished the season 23-11. You had some nice wins. You beat UCLA, you beat Wake Forest, and you beat George Mason. That was fun fact for all our Miami listeners. That was actually Coach L, Jim Larionaga's final year coaching George Mason after he made it to the Final Four as well from that conference. He after that season came down to Miami. So fun fact there. But yeah, you finished the season. You had, despite those wins that you had, nice wins and a nice resume, you didn't win your conference championship game and had to kind of sweat it out on Selection Sunday. So, what was were you a little worried, on Sunday, wondering where you were going to hear your name?
No, he was well, of course he was.
We weren't even together. I was just in my dorm room, so we didn't even get together as a team. I was actually in my dorm room watching Selection Show. I'd tell my teammates, like, we were like hoping we got the NIT, to be honest with you. We had some really good wins that year. We won a big bracket buster game. We used to have that at Wichita State, which was a huge win at the time. Like you said, we won at the Garden against UCLA. Our conference was really good that year. That year really helped us. Mason was awesome. They were top 25. Old Dominion, who we lost to the conference championship, had Kent Bazemore, who had a really good NBA career. And they had some other guys as well that they were really talented. And we had a really good team. So, after we lost that game, we weren't really thinking about the tournament. There was always hopes. Like, I follow everything. I was looking at all the numbers, all that kind of stuff. We weren't even together, so I was just watching it on TV by myself.
And so I was going to ask you if Shaka got the team together, but I guess he didn't because you guys were, not thinking that your name would be called. Now, this was the first year of the first 4, so that helped you out. And I think Ash has a trivia question.
Yeah, so trivia for you. Since its inception, only 2 teams made it from the first 4 to the Final 4. You
were one of them,
and who else?
UCLA.
That's right.
Come on. They'll get harder, I promise.
We're trying to stump them, but okay. So
I'm good with the trivias.
Nice.
So is Lou. You guys should. What's that? You should go on a trivia show. Like, he knows like the most random things. Like, in 1918. No, that's.
I always tell my friends, if you need a lifeline for a sports trivia show, I'm your guy.
But he does not.
Lou, we gotta find one out here, man. We gotta find a sports grill or something, man. I'm down for trivia night. Just let me know.
We'll do a little. We'll run the table there. I'm there. We can do it.
You just better hope that no questions have to do with directions. He doesn't know which directions east. He goes, "Babe, is the beach east?" I said, "We live a mile from the beach. Is it east or west?"
We almost got lost going out to FIU.
Oh, we did. We got lost in the parking lot. Trust me. We ended up making U-turns in the parking lot.
We almost ended up at Key West, man.
Caused a fight. It's okay. Caused a fight, but it's right.
No.
End up in a swamp quick over there. Right by the Everglades. Take the wrong turn.
And he's like, why didn't security stop? I was like, oh, Lou, what kind of college? Because Lou didn't go to college. I'm like, not all colleges are like prison. There are things called open colleges. He had like his ID ready. I said, Lou, you're fine. Like, it's okay. You're so embarrassing.
Oh my gosh, stop. All right, okay. So you get in. Finally, you do make it. Breaking news. You got in as the 11th seed, and you're heading to Dayton. So it's the first 4. New concept, first year of it. They decided to play all the games in Dayton, Ohio, which is a very nice venue out there.
Yeah.
And so you're playing out there. You're playing against USC. Obviously, they're also 11th ranked for the right to get into the actual dance. Southwest region is where you guys end up. You beat those USC Trojans. You beat them by 13 points and real quick turnaround. I think that was.
What were they ranked? What was USC ranked at that
No,
time?
11th. They were both 11th.
They were 11th.
So it was.
They had Vucevic. Nikola was their center.
Who is a beast. I mean, he could get shots wherever he wants from all over the court. So, but yeah, so you win that game pretty handily, and then you again quick turnaround into Chicago 2 days later. I mean,
United
you're playing,
Center?
United Center, Michael Jordan's home.
We were there last year.
Quick fact: the NCAA covered up Michael Jordan's all their banners at the time. Now they let the regular NBA banners go for some reason. They covered them up.
Why is that?
So, I don't know. We walked in the arena. We were like, MJ's banner, and it was covered up. It stunk. Yeah, it was weird.
Was the statue?
So the statue was out, so that was awesome. And when you're back in the locker room area, they have all the bull stuff back there. But for some reason, they covered up the return jerseys. They actually don't do that anymore. But
That's strange. Yeah.
We were there last year for the Heat versus Bulls game, and we were all Heat out, and even we were taking pictures of everything Jordan and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
it was
oh
all
my
over.
gosh,
Yeah,
that would have been
It's an impressive place to play. All those banners up there in the rafters.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's pretty awesome, and I'm sure you got to see that and take that all in. So that was your first. It got bigger obviously as the tournament went along and the venues that you're playing at. But so you're facing Georgetown 2 nights later in Chicago, and you've taken them down as well by 18 points. I mean, it kind of breezed by Georgetown, who was at that time a 6-seeded team. So that was a nice win. And then a day later after that, you're facing the third-ranked Purdue Boilermakers again in Chicago, kind of like a home game for them. And
Definitely
you again win by 18 points. How are you feeling at this point, taking down back-to-back games in Chicago against teams that you weren't really favored to beat?
Yeah, well, we had a really confident group. We were an older team. We knew we could play with anybody. And then, for us, it kind of felt like we had a second chance. So we really had nothing to lose at that point. So we were hitting on all cylinders. We were really connected. We communicated at a high level. Like a lot of those guys are still some of my best friends to this day. So like the connectivity between us on the court, the coaching staff, the trust we had, we were really truthful with each other. We had really good dialogue back and forth. We just felt really good at the time. So the Georgetown game was cool. Growing up, you're seeing all the Big East stuff. We grew up watching Allen Iverson. Like,
of course,
we're VCU. Like, we don't get these opportunities to play these guys on the stage, so we're crazy excited. A Big East team, and we go out there and we responded really well. And then, like you said, the Purdue game, man, it was definitely a road game. I mean, it was all Purdue fans. We had one little section. One thing about me when I played, I always tried to spot my family early. I have this weird phobia, looking at my family, looking at my dad especially, just always at my games. So I always try and find him in the crowd when I used to play. And it's just so funny. If you look at the pictures and stuff, there's just little yellow section of fans and everything else with Purdue. But I mean, it was an awesome environment to go in there and beat a team like that. They were really talented. They were number one in the country throughout that year. So just another big time win. And we just had a really good team. Even though we're VCU, we're playing a CAA school. Like I told you, we were really confident with the schedule we had, with the teams we played, and just the culture of that whole program. Walking out on the court, we thought we could beat anybody.
No, definitely. So suddenly, that kind of reminds me of last year's tournament with St. Peter's. So you and I were out, and I was like, St. Peter's. Obviously, I knew St. Peter's. You know St. Peter's from where we're from. He had no idea. And I'm like, that's a Jersey school. I looked at that school and stuff, and they made such this wonderful run. And it all of a sudden, you really put your name on the map, and it's a beautiful thing, not even for your team, but for the community. And it's wonderful. So now you know where St. Peter's is.
I do know.
Where's it at?
It's in Jersey.
Okay, good. But no one looked at it. I'll be the first one to admit. I was Rutgers, St. John's, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you looked at it. We knew it was there, but it's just one of those schools where we just didn't.
There's so many articles on enrollment, how much tournament runs change enrollment at the school. If you go to VCU now, it looks completely different. They have a whole practice facility. It sucks for us. We did all the work, a lot of the work to get it started. And, after the fact, you're in a better place. But it's always cool to go back and see what you did and how much you changed things.
Definitely. So at this point, going back to the NCAA run, VCU is obviously a bracket buster. They're looking, all eyes are on VCU, bracket buster, but you're not done yet. How are you and the team feeling? Are you feeling like, hey, we got this, or you're kind of taking it day by day, or what are you feeling? Are you guys on cloud nine, or you're kind of like, oh man, what did we get ourselves into?
I mean, it was cloud nine. We were really excited. The coolest thing was coming back to school after those wins against Georgetown and Purdue. It completely changed. We couldn't go to class. They told us not to go to. We tried to go to class the first day, and they're like, "Hey, man, you guys aren't gonna be able to walk around campus." We had to have police security all around Richmond. It was wild. It was a crazy experience. Just things changed like that, and but once we got on the practice court, we went at it. We went live. We were practicing the same way. Nothing's really changed. Guys weren't getting haircuts. We were dug into Florida State. We had a lot of Florida guys on the team, and we were really motivated to try and win that 2-16 game.
So that's where I'm going with this. Now, we're going to keep on moving here. So you went from the first four, a fringe team that may not even get in. You're in, and now you're in the Sweet 16. I mean, it's just a remarkable turnaround. You mentioned you go back to campus. You guys are rock stars. Your next opponent, the opponent you just mentioned it, the FSU Seminoles, who had also had some upsets. They were they're the 10th seed. So, this is a Sweet 16 matchup featuring at 10 and 11. I love those matchups, by the way, because, you root for the underdogs and you root to see knowing that one of those teams is going to have a chance to knock off a blue blood, that's always fun to watch. So you got FSU. This game is played in the Alamo Dome, and so
longest walk to the court ever. Longest walk to the court ever.
I see
Man, it takes forever to walk. It's a wild experience. It's like a crazy rush because you're walking out there, and then usually you run into the other team. So there's a lot of stuff back.
Was it your first time playing the zone there?
Yeah, that was our first time playing such a big deal. Like I never got to play at the Carrier Dome or nothing like that. So that was the first time playing in front of.
And as a shooter, is it different? Like shooting in a place like that? Did you kind of have to readjust your shot, or?
No, yeah, it's hard. The depth perception really messes you up. With just and it messes you up in the Final Four too. Like you're playing in the football stadium,
right? And then
it feels completely different whenever we do get there. But it just the whole shooting part of it, it is different.
Right, and the Alamo Dome, one of the biggest roofs, like ceilings wise.
Yeah,
it's a square roof, so it's really strange, and so it's really high up there. So I've always wondered that, and you confirmed it that it takes an adjustment to try and get your shots off there. So
right,
interesting. All right, so this game was against FSU was a classic. You guys won it in overtime by the slimmest of margins, 72-71, and now all of a sudden you're in the Elite Eight. I mean,
yeah,
what a huge story developing here. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, how are you?
That game took a lot out of me personally. That's still my favorite game of the whole tournament. Just being a Florida kid growing up here. I actually grew up a Gator fan. Sorry for all my Miami people, but I was a Gator through and through. My brother went to Florida, so big time Gator. And they never recruited me, so there's something personal there. Being 5'10", 5'9", you got to be competitive. You got to have some different stuff in you to get out there and play basketball at that level. So we were really motivated. It was an awesome game. Emotions were high, emotions were low. We ended up pulling it out. There's so many videos from that game of just once the clock's 1-0, like the whole bench going nuts. Hearing about that game still gives me chills this day.
Yep. This is a game where you had your shirt, your jersey up?
No, that was actually the Kansas game. This game I literally blacked out after this one.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, it was pure blackout and exhilaration.
Okay. So you mentioned it. Let's get to it. So now you're in the Elite Eight and you're facing a Kansas Jayhawk team. You talk about blue blood program, traditional, program going back to the inception of college basketball. Of course, the Fog Allen, Dr. James Naismith, everything that has to do with basketball gets traced back to Lawrence, Kansas, and here you are going up against them. What are you feeling? You're a big underdog in this game. They're the number 1 seed. Yeah, you knocked off number 3 seeded Purdue. You knocked off number 6 seeded Georgetown, but now you're going against the top team in the region. What are you thinking? What is your team? What is Shaka preparing you guys for in this game?
Again, just another opponent. We knew who we were going up against. Nobody gave us a chance. But we prepared like it was another team. Like Coach Smart is awesome at motivating people. Our assistants we're all head coaches now. Like Mike Rhodes was one of our assistants. He's the head coach at VCU. Will Wade, who was the head coach at LSU, just got the McNeese job. He was one of our assistant coaches. And Mike Jones, who was the head coach at Radford, now he's the head coach at UNC Greensboro. They all got us prepared. We were ready to go. Like I told you, man, we were just a confident group. We stepped on the court UCLA that year in Madison Square Garden and pulled out a win. So, we weren't scared of anybody. We knew we had to come out ready to go. We couldn't come out a half step in. But, yeah, man, we grew up watching Big Monday. When you're in VCU, when you're a college basketball guy, you're not at one of those schools. On Monday, you're watching Big Monday. You're watching Big 12 basketball, and everybody's seeing those games. So we knew everything about their team already coming into it, and we were ready to go.
And not scared. You're ready to go. You're ready to roll. What was the crowd like at the Alamo Dome? It's somewhat close to Kansas, but is the crowd turning where they're rooting for you guys now? They want to see that upset, or you still got a lot of Kansas fans in there?
It was mostly Kansas, but it was a little different this time because there was another group of Richmond fans. They beat Richmond in the game before in the Sweet 16 game. So VCU and Richmond are rivals in the same city. So a lot of those fans after Richmond lost, they just kind of stayed around. Hey, let's go to the VCU game. And as the game started going, they're like, Hey, shit, we might as well cheer with these VCU fans trying to get these guys going because Kansas actually smacked them by like 30. So, yeah, we actually ended up getting some Richmond fans, some Florida State fans
Nice.
stayed around and helped us out. But like I said, it was a Kansas home game, which is fine.
Richmond Spiders, right?
Yeah, the Spiders. A
Yep.
little love from the Spiders out there. Nice.
Yep.
All right, cool. So this is what happened. Basically, we're talking about where you
Yeah.
you
You
lift
look the same. You age gracefully.
Thank you, appreciate that. The beard, I got to show the beard a little bit.
you,
But
you
appreciate
lift the
that.
jersey up there. Show the 12. Why 12, Joey? Why'd you wear number 12?
I just liked it. I was always one to like change numbers. I was number 1 in high school. I wore 2 in high school. So then by the time I got to college, I was like, hey, let's just combine 1 and 2. Pretty easy.
That works. Were you?
Yeah, not much to it.
Did you play anything else, or just basketball in high school?
So I played football in high school. I played actually varsity. I got moved up to varsity football my freshman year. I grew up playing baseball. I was gonna play baseball my freshman year as well, and then my dad was finally like, "Hey, pick a sport."
Yeah.
And you're picking basketball. So that's how that one went down. I actually ended up getting injured playing football. My freshman year, my dad was like, "All right, man, you're done."
Right.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So yeah, you slay the dragon, right? 71-61 win over Kansas, which means you guys get the Southwest Region championship, and here's you holding up that trophy for winning that and advancing to the Final Four. Really an amazing thing, and you also get.
Of course, you also got the big honors of cutting down the net as part of the celebration. How cool was that experience to actually cut down a net? Did you mess it up? I was like a one to like. How was it?
It was an awesome experience. Everybody was on the court. My parents were there. I ended up giving the net and the hat to my brother and my dad, who like traveled everywhere. They literally, so they started in Dayton. They didn't pack anything. Come to Dayton. They end up pitching a ride to Chicago, get a hotel in Chicago. From Chicago, my brother's just like, they're all skipping work. They go from Chicago to the other spot. Like they were everywhere. So I ended up giving them that stuff. But it's cool. I have a ton of pictures at my spot now of just like me with the net, holding the net up.
So who is in it now? Because our viewers are pretty big bidders and they have big pockets because we don't, So who has the net now?
My dad has a net.
Oh,
so upstairs in my parents' house, they got like a bunch of stuff from like the tournament run, and
wow,
they got it all up. So whenever I become a head coach, I'm gonna throw it in my office, and I have a few stuff up there for the players to see, make sure they know what's up.
That's awesome. I didn't get a picture of you, but I got a picture of your coach, Shaka, cutting down the net.
Yeah.
So, and listen, you're a better man than me because I wouldn't have stopped at the net. I would have gotten a screwdriver, taking the rim off. I'm taking the ladder. I'm taking all the mementos back home.
Lou's that guy when we go to like places, he has to go to every table to get everything free. It could be like women's like eyelashes, and he has to get like 10 pairs. I'm like, Lou, you don't even wear it. Like,
sorry,
he's that guy. He would literally like take everything from that poor place.
I will say this: once we got our phones and we looked at like our phones and all the messages we got, we started seeing videos of the city of Richmond, and like they flooded the streets. You go on YouTube and look at like VCU Richmond streets, and you'll see like the main street. So it'd be like Biscayne of Richmond. It was filled up with people. They shut down the road. People were on cars. Like it was nuts. So by the time we were up there, we were like, all right, man, we got to get back.
Have you
got to get back.
We passed by.
We did, but I've actually been. When I worked in college admissions, there was a college fair at VCU.
Yeah.
So I've been into the gym and everything, but we've only driven through. So Richmond's it's a little downtown, almost like a Raleigh vibe. So they do have a downtown area. So I definitely vision what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so in the Final Four, it was held in Houston at Reliance Stadium, which is where it's going to be held this year as well.
Yeah.
And you're going up against the AFC Butler Bulldogs. For those that don't remember, Butler actually the previous year lost to Duke in the championship game. They were a Gordon Hayward shot away from a banked half-court shot away from winning the whole thing. So this is a team that you're facing. What was it like to arrive in Houston? What was the vibe like?
And have like all the media spotlight on you.
Yeah, that was crazy. So like you go really early to those Final Four. You're there about 3 or 4 days early. People don't know, like you have a dinner with all these people. I don't even know who they were. Like famous coaches. Like all the teams are there eating together. It was really awkward. Like you're about to play Butler. We're all like eating together. It was like us, Butler, Kentucky, and UConn. So we're all eating together, like acting like we want to like shake hands or whatever. Like super competitive. So I didn't want to do any of that. But
I couldn't do any of that either.
We stayed right next to the Galleria, which was cool. But like we had armored security everywhere we went, which was weird. Like I just want to walk to the mall. We had to like go with a group of people.
I don't know.
It was police escorts everywhere. It was a cool experience. It was different. Something you'll never forget for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's so, you do fall short finally. Unfortunately, the run did come to the end there. You were in the Final Four also along with Butler, yourself, obviously, Kentucky and UConn.
Yeah.
You fall short by 8 points to Butler in a game that, you didn't really have control, and they won the first half and, second half as well there. So what was your takeaway from that game? Why do you think you fell a little short? Is there something that you feel that just, why couldn't the Magic keep on going against the Bulldogs in this Final Four game?
I don't know, to this day, like we missed a lot of in and out shots. They got a lot of 50-50 balls, which is a big deal in games like that. Yeah, that game still hurts. I hate talking about it.
I don't like
Even
Butler
12,
either.
even 12 years later, like I feel like our team could have won the national championship. We talk about it to this day. Every time in March, we get in a group chat and we start talking, and it always comes up. So I've actually never rewatched that game.
Wow.
I've seen like clips and things like that, but I've never watched the game in full. Yeah, I really have a
Next
lot. Like
question.
the coolest thing was like running out after, because we lost. Like running out, seeing how many people were there, and like your eyes, the chills going through your body. There's 80,000 people watching you play basketball. The front rows, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Wassel, Coach K, like anybody you could think of is in the front row, and your family's really pushed back, which is weird. The benches are like you have to step up. There's a lot of different things with that during the game that was really weird. And it takes you a little bit to kind of get into the atmosphere, get into the game, and once you're in the game, nothing really changes. But just an awesome experience. Like you asked about the media stuff. Like you had to sit up there for like an hour, and it was just like the Super Bowl stuff where like you're sitting there and you have all these people coming up, asking you questions, and you're sitting there talking. It's a cool experience. I'm not gonna lie, it's cool.
I'll tell you who does the best media. He does the best. Giannis's media. I could watch him like all day. He goes, how many dollars would it be if I say this curse word? 20,000. Okay, no problem. That baby diverse. Like he makes media. He's the best. So essentially, your life changed after this. I mean, thanks to that amazing run, you personally had some cool things. What's this thing with Steve Kerr?
Oh yeah, so that was I think that was he was calling the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight game. So Coach Smart, we have our shoot arounds are always like really upbeat, a lot of talking, a lot of screaming. We get after it, like we go up and down. Whereas a lot of teams nowadays, you just kind of walk through stuff, kind of get shots. Now with Coach Smarts are like jumping around, upbeat, taking charges, like pretty fun. And Steve Kerr come on the court, and we did that little 3-point battle. I ended up getting the win, which is cool.
Oh my
God. He blames it on not warming up. I was like, bro, you're Steve Kerr, man. You'll be all right.
I have it here. It looks like you shot 10 and you went 8 for 10. He went 6 for 10. So, and I have a picture of it. Here's Steve Kerr over here. There's you over here. Sorry, Steve Kerr there.
Don't get mixed up with Steve Kerr.
And that's
see how tall Steve Kerr is right there. Like everybody thinks Steve Kerr is like this short dude. I'm 5'10". Steve Kerr is literally like 6'4".
Exactly. So that's what you called it. Steve Kerr was a broadcaster at this time. Now obviously he's the head coach of the multi-championship Golden State Warriors, and back in his day, he hit game-winning clutch shots in the finals from Michael Jordan. Also won a championship with the Spurs. So Joey Rodriguez beat Steve Kerr. That's pretty awesome.
Something cooler I think that happened after that was George Lopez. Like, did you just get a call one day on your phone? Like, did his representative say, "Hey, George Lopez wants you on the show"? Like, he's one of the funniest dudes around. Like, how did that happen?
Our media guy with VCU hit me up randomly after the fact, and he was like, "Hey, you're not gonna release, but George Lopez wants you on the show." And I was like, "Bro, are you shitting me? Like, are you joking? Like, for what?" He's like, "No, he really does." And I was like, "All right." So then I get on the phone with like it was somebody with the show, and they like tell me what we're gonna talk about. I still didn't believe it until I got out there, and then once I got out there, I was like, "Oh, this is really happening." He let me fly one of my best friends out there with me, so it was just me and him hanging out in LA. Yeah, walk on the set. It's like a whole trailer. I go on the trailer. I'm like mad nervous, and he comes in there and he's joking around. Awesome guy. Really took care of us while we were out there. Crazy experience. Like me. Who was this? It was man. Who's the other actor? Lisa Lampanelli was there. She was on there. And man, what's the guy from Hustle and Flow?
You know everybody.
Oh,
black guy.
Yeah. And, oh man.
Our chat room will know.
Hard out here for a pimp. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's in
Terrence
Howard.
Terrence Howard. There you go. Yes.
Yeah, Terrence Howard was on the show. So like I got to meet all them, and we hung out backstage for like 2 hours, and it's like a little party. So we had a great time, man.
How cool is that, man? So listen, that just amazing experience that you had. So then, after your career's over at VCU, you go on and play some professional ball with Puerto Rico and Turkey, and then ultimately transition into coaching. How was your professional career? How did that go? Obviously, you're playing in big arenas, and so how was that transitioning from playing and being a rock star over at VCU, and then going to play pro ball? Is it a little humbling, different?
It was different for me because so we played, we lost. I ended up doing the Lopez show, which was like right after. From that, we went to the ESPYs for like 5 days.
Oh my gosh!
So we won an ESPY. But like I'm in LA with 6 of my best friends, and everything's paid for, and we're in college. Like those 6 days were benders.
We did everything.
So like we did that, which was awesome, great experience. Like stories, we're following around like Kim Kardashian as college kids, just trying to like take pictures and like to sneak and take pictures in there. Serena Williams, all that stuff. So like we're having a ball. And once I get back, I get a call. I have to like pick my agent, do that little process in like 2 or 3 days with my parents and my coaches. And my agent tells me, hey, I didn't know about this. There's a Puerto Rican league, the BSN. He's like, and the NBA lockout was about to happen. So there's no like pre-draft stuff. He's like, hey, there's a league in Puerto Rico. You can go play in, make some money. They'll fly you down the weekend because I know you got to finish school. So I was actually probably 2 weeks after that. I was already playing again in Puerto Rico. No practices, went over there, not knowing what to expect. I walk into the game, and it's like a sold-out game in Bayamon, which is like the Lakers over there. It's an awesome league. Yeah. There's like 10,000 people there. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? So I did that. Ended up going to Turkey. And when I got to Turkey, I'm a really family guy, family-oriented. My dad was always at games. I was young. I didn't know how good it was when I had it in Turkey. So I got really homesick early. I was ready to come back home.
Yeah.
I was telling my dad, like, hey, I'm ready to get into coaching. It's not the NBA. I don't want to do this. And tried going back to Puerto Rico, played there for 2 more years. And as I was playing in Puerto Rico those next years, I slowly got into coaching, high school, became the head coach of my old high school, and slowly transitioned into coaching from there.
Nice. And so you're currently, I know you're currently on Jeremy Ballard's staff at FIU, and you were previously with him at in Rice. I
was actually with him at VCU. So it was Rice. It was Rice as a video coordinator under Mike Rhodes, who's the head coach of VCU now. And then we ended up going to VCU, and I was a player development for a year. And that's where Ballard was. He became an associate there for a year, and then he got the job at FIU, and I went with him from VCU to FIU. Nice.
And by the way, Jeremy Ballard, best hair in college sports, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, man. He loves that hair. That's his thing, man. He lets that thing go. So
even his swag, like his outfit, he was like all there. I thought you were gonna have some scissors and cut his hair. It was this big bald spot back here, and I was like, Luke, don't get any ideas. Don't get any ideas.
I like the locks on him, man.
He loves that. Yeah. I keep telling him to get it braided up. He needs to get it braided up for some reason.
Take care of that.
But it's nice.
So so March Madness starts this week. Obviously, we spoke about earlier in the show. Disappointed that St. John's isn't in it. We went to the Orange Bowl Classic early this year where they played Florida State, and it was your first St. John's game. Lou felt like he was something out of Coming to America. Like he literally recreated the scene. Like he made us take a picture and everything. So disappointing year for my guys. Obviously, Mike Anderson, we gave him 3 years, wasn't the answer. And if you look at our team on paper, Joel Soriano is one of the best centers in the league. Posh Alexander is amazing. Adewasu, we have names. And now Rick Pitino. But then they're also saying maybe Patrick Ewing. I don't want Patrick Ewing anywhere near St. John's. How do you feel? Do you really think Rick Pitino, maybe his last stint St. John's? I mean, look what he's doing with Iona. And you don't even know where Iona was. Iona's
anywhere.
Well, a lot of people don't. That's one of those colleges where it's kind of like you do, you don't. What do you think the possibility of Rick Pitino coming to St. John's? Does he want to pick that up? Because St. John's in the past years, I was disappointed when LJ Figueroa transferred out to Oregon. Like, we get good names. So what do you think do you think he will come? And if he does, how quickly do you think he could rebuild Rome?
Well, he's an amazing coach, and he can, if you want anybody to rebuild anything, he's probably the first choice on anybody's ballot in all of college basketball because it's Rick Pitino. Now with him going there, there's always a bunch of stuff on Twitter like, "Hey, Patino's the guy, Patino's." Until it actually happens, you never really know. I'm sure they're talking to a ton of people. Patrick Ewing, I'm a Knicks fan, so Patrick Ewing's like my GOAT. He's my Jordan.
You take him down to FIU with you. We're good in New York.
It's all about, head coaches have a lot to do with it. It's the staff you have as well. And college basketball is just different now. It's hard to keep kids with NIL and the transfer portal and, so many people you got to deal with and talk to. These kids can leave without sitting out. So like any type of adversity that, back in the day, kids would be like, all right, I got to stick this out. I got to fight through it. If something doesn't happen for a kid right away, there's a good chance he's going to leave. And that's just how it is now. So that whole landscape has changed.
Definitely.
No, I grew up on St. John's, so I wanted to see St. John's.
I love his stories.
That's Felipe Lopez and all those guys, man. Those are the teams.
All right, so let's get into the dance, this current edition now, and we're going to start off first with a couple local teams.
The Canes, like what? Oh my gosh, we were actually heading to your game to see that when they were playing FSU, and we listened to on the radio to that last bit, and then obviously that just did not happen. But then they go and beat Pitt, so now we're going and playing Drake, right? Drake's who we're Drake.
But the other thing, Joey, is they won the ACC regular season. I know they fell short in the semis against Duke in the conference tournament, but here's a team that a lot of people eyed them, being slotted in Orlando and staying home in the state of Florida. And then they get, the draw up in New York as a 5th seed. They got slighted a little bit there. So it's a team that, last year was an Elite Eight, one game away. They got beat by the eventual champion in Kansas Jayhawks. Do you think the Canes have a right to feel that they got a little?
Yeah, I mean they got the right coach and the right staff. Like Coach L's used to be in the tournament. His team's always produce in the tournament. So they got really good guards. The guards are back. They got really good wings. They're really good on offense. They've been good all year. I'm a big Miami fan, just watching them play as a group. They're fun to watch. They play the right way. It's not a lot of stalling. They get shots up. They keep the ball moving. It's a fun brand of basketball. So, I'm a Florida guy, so I'm definitely rooting for him. Cody Kimball, somebody that he just joined their staff, I know really well. So I definitely think they have a chance to make a deep run in the tournament. Now, this first game is going to be a tough one. Drake is really good. I worry about, the Drakes. I even worry about, like, Marquette with Vermont, who's a 15 seed. Like, these games are just tough. They're tough on that. You get through that first game, everything really changes for you.
Well, St. John's almost beat Marquette. I mean, I went into overtime, and in the first half, St. John's is up by over 10 points. I was like shocked. I was like crazy. I had a watch party in my office. No one showed up. I invited everybody. I was there by myself, and I'm like, Shaka, and I'm sure like everybody heard me. But no, so you are right with Marquette. Like, yes, on paper they're a great team, but anything can happen, and that is one team that
for 40 minutes. It's not a 7-game series. It's not a 5-game series. Like, it's 40 minutes of basketball. Like, anything can happen in 40 minutes. So, but that's the beauty of this whole thing.
Love it. Yeah. So let's talk about the other local team. Of course, a team you're familiar with, the Florida Atlantic Owls. Here's a team that you guys saw twice in the regular season. This is a team that was ranked in the top 25 for several weeks during the season. You played them. The second meeting went into overtime, lost them by 4 points. They're 31-3. They got the 9th seed. And what do you think of this Florida Atlantic team? They're going up against Memphis in the first round. How good are they, and how could they make a run?
They could definitely make a run. They've been together for a very long time. They're very competitive. They got a good spirit and juice about them as a team. Another great coaching staff. Dusty May can easily be coach of the year as well. Like 31 wins at FAU. 31-3, like that's amazing, and he's a great guy. So I definitely think they can make a run. I mean, this is a conference game for them next year. Them and Memphis in the American, like this is what they're gonna have to face every day of the week next year. So I definitely think they're gonna be motivated. They're gonna be prepared. They're gonna be ready. A lot of it comes down to rebounding, taking care of the ball, and you got to make shots. And they've been making shots at a high level. The thing about them, they can go 10 deep, 11 deep. And 2 of the guys off the bench can go and get you 20. You don't know who that 2 is. Like, they have so many guys that can go out there and have awesome games. And they're another team that play a fun brand of basketball. Like, they're fun to watch, up and down, move the ball really well. They can beat anybody. If they get by Memphis, I feel really good about them against Purdue because just how they play offensively, how they space the court. They could put Edie in a lot of ball screens. They have a big guy that's really physical, really tough. I would not sleep on FAU in the tournament at all.
Interesting. I wanted to follow that up with, I know you guys had a heartbreaking loss and out of the Conference USA tournament in overtime in the first round, but do you feel that if FAU had lost their championship game, was the league good enough where they could have gotten a large bid at 31-3 and being ranked in the top 25? Do you think they would have still gotten them?
Yeah, I think it would have been a two-bid league if that would have happened. I think they were like 12 in the net all year, and I see a lot of these teams with top 20 net rankings getting in. But they've been consistent all year. To me, there's no doubt in my mind they should have been a tournament team, even if they would have slipped up. It's hard to win 31 games, man, no matter what conference you're in. And to only have 3 losses is incredible, no matter what conference you're in.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll ask you 2 more before we let you go. Obviously, we know the bracket. We know everyone's seating at this point. What do you think? Who do you think is the number one seed, most vulnerable team right now? Who do you think is going to be like a quick knockout?
It's just hard with the injury stuff. I'd probably go Houston just because of Sasser's injury. Like the groin is. The groin injury really worries me. Like it's hard to come back from it. Groins, it takes time. Like you can feel like you're good, and then you come out there and you start running, and one little pull or one little turn the wrong way, and like you can't play anymore. So I'd probably say Houston just because of the Sasser injury. The other team would be Kansas just because like the whole Bill Self deal. Like I worry about it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's only 40 minutes, so it could be anybody.
Yeah. And as far as, up teams that could, make a run, like similar to what you did back in 2011 with VCU, any teams, double-seeded teams, double-digit teams that could, make a run that you see could cause some upsets.
Yeah, the bracket here.
VCU.
Yeah, like who else would he say? Come on.
The Rams. No, I'm being serious. I really think VCU can win a lot of games. Even that second-round game against UConn, like UConn's going to have to bring it. That VCU team is really good this year. They struggled early. They started 5-4.
Yeah.
They're making shots right now. Like, I would not want to play them at all right now. Another team, I would say, I like Furman. Furman can really shoot the ball. I like the matchup against Virginia. I just think that can be an upset. Let me get out my bracket real quick. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Speaking.
So VCU played
actually took a picture. Yeah, VCU plays St. Mary's, who actually beat us a few years back in the tournament.
Yeah, you mentioned Furman in Virginia. FIU plays high style, a lot of pressing, a lot of up and down, running up and down the court. Virginia likes to slow these games down. I mean, that isn't really conducive of winning in March. I mean, I think they're going to have a problem with that. You don't really get past many rounds playing that kind of brand of ball.
Yeah, the one year that they won it, I mean, people don't understand how talented they were from just a roster standpoint. Like they had 5 NBA guys on that roster,
right?
That could all go get one. So it was very different. The other team I have on here, I have the winner of the playing game tomorrow, Arizona State and Nevada, winning 2 games in the bracket.
Wow.
And the other team is UC Santa Barbara against Baylor.
The Gauchos.
That'd be the other one that I'd maybe lean towards. Okay.
And as far as looking at the bracket itself, what do you think is the toughest region, and which is the one that you would deem being the easiest one?
I'd probably go Houston's region.
The Midwest.
That's what I said too.
The Kansas
Midwest. I probably think that's the toughest region.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think one of the easier regions is Marquette, who's in the
East, New York City.
Yeah, I think their East region can go pretty well for them.
It's crazy. That is set to be in Madison Square Garden, where of course they just won the Big East tournament, and potentially they could be facing Duke there. Duke has a very big presence in New York. They play in the Garden very often, so that would be something if it's Marquette.
You said Oral Roberts was going to beat Duke.
Hey, Oral Roberts is Max Abrams on their team is probably could be one of the best guards in the whole tournament. He's awesome.
And then they got the Giraffe. This guy, 7'7"? What is he?
From Arkansas. He can shoot threes. Yeah, he can block shots. Like they're a really good team. They're dangerous. Yeah. And Duke's young.
Yes.
Duke's got a lot of young guys.
Brand new coach. So yeah, true. All right, so let's wrap this up with our picks. You got some. Ash, you want to go first?
Oh, put me on the front.
Yeah,
door.
you
All
started
right,
off-
St. John's Final Four. No.
No.
One day
No.
you'll hear those sweet words out of my mouth. Maybe not in my life, but all right. So who I have, obviously Alabama. They're saying they're the best team in the whole entire tournament, so I'm going to stick with that. Alabama, and coming out from the South, I'm going to say Marquette, even though. I've seen them plenty of times this year. Obviously,
beat your
playing.
St. John's Red
I
Storm.
know. Let's not remind me there,
Sorry.
but no, they're a great team. Dwayne Wade went there, so obviously we have love for them because of
Jay Crowder,
Jay
Jimmy
Crowder.
Butler.
I
Jimmy
know.
Butler.
Okay, there's a lot. They sold me already, so I have in the Final Four. Then in the Midwest region, I do have Houston. Despite the injuries, I think Houston maybe will prevail. And then the West, I have Gonzaga. I've liked Gonzaga ever since Adam Morrison. I don't know. It's just a cool basketball school.
Adam Morrison throwing it back.
What you know about that?
That's a
Oh,
mustache.
millennial.
Yeah.
So I know
good in
that's
college.
that's actually the year where I fell in love with like college basketball. Like that was obviously, you mentioned Allen Iverson. We're close to the same age. Like it was Jason Kidd and Allen Iverson for me. I don't recall much Michael Jordan play. That's slightly before, but it was really Allen Iverson and Jason Kidd. So,
For sure.
so Gonzaga, Houston, Alabama, Marquette is who I have in the Final
You
Four.
got a champ, or are you going to stop at the Final
Let's
Four?
just stop right there.
Okay. All right, Joe, you want to go next, or you want me to?
Yeah, I got you. You'll like my first one. I have Arizona.
Nice. Hey.
I have Arizona. I have Marquette.
Yep.
I have Arizona versus Marquette, and then I have the Texas Longhorns
Wow.
against UConn.
Okay.
UConn.
And then I have Marquette facing Texas in the finals. A little Shaka versus Texas deal. And then I got Marquette winning the national title.
I'd be okay
Interesting.
with a Big East school winning it. That would make me feel good about the season. So I'm.
I really like Marquette's team. I've watched them all year just because it's pretty like Coach Smart. After every victory we have, he's really close with Coach Ballard. They coach together. Another guy on our staff, Jesse Bob, and he always sends us like post game videos after we win, and they're always hilarious, like him screaming into the camera and things like that. So we all the whole VCU crew always watch each other's games, and we always root each other on. So
That's
I
great.
really like their team, man.
That's awesome that you guys support each other, and yeah, it's great insight. So
who do you have,
For
Lisa?
So I am going to go. Thank you for picking Arizona, by the way. I also have Arizona
You're
coming out of the South.
biased.
That's fine. No, but look, I'm going to tell
But
you.
Joey said it too, so okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and I'm going to be real about this, and it pains me to say this, but I'm going to go Arizona in the South. I do have Marquette coming out of the East. I like Houston getting to the
Oh, I
Final
feel like you're
Four
going to say that West pick.
in home at home. Houston, the Final Four is in Houston. I have Houston going to the Final Four there. And then I got UCLA coming out
Tiger
of the
Campbell, dropping the mic.
Yeah,
you
I
hate
got-
him and you love him.
I got UCLA
wow.
coming out of the West. My Final Four, I'm a historic guy, so Houston and UCLA played one of the best. This is way before my time, but Houston and UCLA played a very big championship game.
Yeah,
back in the
I
day.
wasn't thought about it at that time.
Yeah, so I think UCLA is going to beat them, beat Houston, and I got Marquette, unfortunately, knocking off my Wildcats. And then it really pains me to say this, but I got UCLA beating Marquette.
Just because Tiger's your favorite animal doesn't mean you have to go all the way with UCLA.
I'm going to tell you something.
Gosh.
I watched I watched all these games. The Pac-12 championship game, UCLA played without two starters, and Arizona won. They won barely. So I think UCLA is motivated. They went to the Final Four 2 years ago. I got UCLA beating Marquette in the championship.
I will tell you this. UCLA better be ready for their first round opponent, UNC Asheville. UNC Asheville is going to have the best player on the court. Go look up some of his stats. Go look at UNC Asheville's roster. They have Drew something. All right, he is a beast. He's the conference player of the year. He's an NBA prospect. Can shoot threes. Can post up. They're one of the best shooters in the country on the wing. UNC Asheville, UCLA first round game is going to be a battle.
So are you calling the upset?
Are you putting him on upset alert? Yeah.
Book it.
No.
UNC Asheville over the UCLA Bruins. Mike Morrell, Justin Levine, Woody Taylor.
You
Let's
wouldn't
go.
watch any more games. I would be stuck with
You
him the
heard it
next
here.
3 weeks.
Wow, you heard it here
You
first.
heard it here
I
first.
wanted to lose.
Yeah, but you know
That's
what
my
you want?
rival.
You put money on that though.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to go with what I think is going to happen, but that means I
Wow,
want them to
you
lose.
guys
So
heard it first. Joey Rodriguez saying UCLA being upset by
15 versus number 2. Wow, that's big time.
UNC Asheville, Cashville. Let's get it.
Nice. Okay.
Anyways, Joe.
I got two quick more things, and then you're going to.
No, you're good. Go ahead. I got
So,
time. You're good.
I wanted to ask you two things specifically. I know we talked about it. Shaka Smart. Just how special of a coach is he? And what did you see back then? He was a young up and coming coach to where he is now. Obviously, success in Texas, big time success now at Market, and ultimate success with you in the Final Four at VCU and trying to get back there. What do you what do you got to say about him?
He's a great person, great motivator. Really cares about the player and the person, especially at the college level. Like, you got to put a lot into the kids. And then this dude was always around, always calling people in his office, always having conversations, taking you to lunch. Like, he was just always there. And we were really hard on him his first year. Like, we were really hard to coach. We had Anthony Grant before him, who's like this big, stoic, like put together guy. And then Coach Smart comes walking in like this young little guy, like screaming with all this energy. It was tough on him the first year, but he stuck with it. And he just really knows the game, great motivator. But more importantly, just a great person, and he's really knowledgeable. Like, he studies, he reads a lot. Like, he has all these awesome nuggets to like for leadership to try and get guys going. And yeah, it was an awesome experience playing for him, and it's great to have him on my side. I can hit him up whenever and ask him questions about stuff. Like,
Fantastic.
He's a great guy to have in your corner.
Fantastic. And the last thing I want to get you on, and this is your story in terms of making the Cinderella run that you did, and it's a small school. It's the Cinderella story that everybody's pulling for. When you are that team, a double-digit seed, a big underdog, and you got a lead on these blue blood programs, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, all of them. Yeah. Do you feel that it's better to kill that shot clock, or keep pressing, put your gas on the pedal, and go at them, keep trying to punch them in the mouth? Or, you got a double-digit lead, you got that big lead, and you're trying to slow things down and make them nervous. You lived it, you experienced it. What's the right play there?
There's a middle ground that you got to find. Like, you can't be extremely one way and think it's going to work. Like, you can't just hold the ball and think the clock's going to run out and you're going to win the game, but you also can't come out there chucking shots, shooting early in the shot clock, trying shit that you shouldn't be trying. Like, it can backfire on you very quick. So there's a middle ground you have to find, and as a coach, you got to try and help pace the game and call timeouts, call plays, let them just play. Like, there's a balance you got to find with the flow of the game that the elite coaches find. The elite coaches find, and the really good point guards on these college teams know that. Like, that's why I feel so good about a team like Marquette, like the Tyler Kohler kid. Like, he gets it. He's a basketball guy. Yeah. Big East Player of the Year, underdog story. Not super athletic, but just understands tough. Like, those guys are the guys I look to in the tournament to win a lot of games.
Awesome.
Definitely. That's exciting. All right, so Final Four. Obviously, we have our picks in the chat. We have a full chat going on, full house.
Let's go.
People, my brother, Purdue versus Houston, Purdue winning it all. What other stuff do we have? Marquette, UM. So we're all over the place. That's kind of typical.
Do we have any Eagles? Our Eagles friends in the room? Now might be a good time to say, and we might lose some viewers here, but Joey
G-Men, New York Football Giants, Darren Waller at tight end, Danny Dimes at quarterback, Saquon, come see us. Philly, we are ready. I don't care. I know you guys are all about the smoke. G-Men, New York, Big Blue, let's go.
Joey, I got to ask you, giving Daniel Jones that money, I mean, he got paid a lot. I know actually Tua was in the same situation, pick up that 50-year option or not. The Giants chose not to do it, and because of that, really had to pay him. And a lot of people raise a lot of eyebrows, him getting all that money. How do you feel about that? Are you confident in Danny Dimes getting that paycheck?
Yeah, man. I follow a lot of stuff. I go on the message boards. Like, I read a bunch of stories. Like, I'm a big-time Giants fan, man. Just all the stuff you read about him, his leadership qualities. Like, he's the first guy in there all the time. He's been through the ringer. Like, he knows New York. It didn't start out easy for him. Like, he struggled in the biggest city, in the biggest market. And for this year, like, nobody thought our team would do what we did. And he led us. Yeah. Everybody loves to bring up, 15 touchdown throws. Like, nobody ever brings up his rushing touchdowns.
Right, 700 yards.
Up his rushing yards. Yeah, like, everybody on TV is like, 15 touchdowns. He only threw 15 touchdowns in the league. Well, he's one of the best running quarterbacks in the league as well, and he runs in for a ton of touchdowns. So I'm a big fan. I feel really good about it. It's really only guaranteed for 2 years. The third year, if he's struggling, we can cut it out and move on. So I don't think we're ever going to be in that predicament. I think he's our franchise quarterback.
Nice. And then you do lose me here as well. I'm okay with you with the Giants, even though I have a lot of Eagles friends. But, man, you're a Knick fan. They're finally playing some good ball. I still will never forget Allen Houston for that shot that bounced around the rim like 15 times and went in 99. I'll never forget that. Even though we've had success and won championships since then, I will not let that Allen Houston shot go.
LeBron's not walking through that door for you guys anymore. So y'all better get it going.
All you Heat fans. That door, trust me. We're good without him. There's a few other ones we have.
I'm a diehard Knicks fan though. Like, I grew up, NBA on NBC. with my
Yeah.
parents. Like my dad, like Knicks Bulls, Knicks
Yeah.
Pacers. So playing basketball while the game's going on in the background. Like my parents let us play inside, like those wild stuff. So yeah, I'm diehard Knicks. I watch every Knicks game. I'll be up at 10 o'clock watching us against the Blazers tonight. Like
Yeah.
it's just what I do, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that the Bulls, the Knicks gave the Bulls their hardest competition. The Bulls, of course, never went to a 7-game series, but they
Yeah.
did with the Knicks, and they had some great battles that Jordan just ultimately willed through it. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we had some awesome games, and we started out the one series. We started out 2-0, and Jordan went gambling and made the big deal about it, and then he came back and just started killing everybody. So, yeah, man, Knicks. If we're in the playoffs, like I'm excited. They play the right way. They're tough. They always play hard, which I appreciate. Same with the Heat. Like you watch Heat games, it's not an effort thing with the Heat. Like they're not making shots this year. Like Strus is not. Strus isn't knocking down shots. Gabe Vincent isn't knocking down shots. Like
Tyler Hero, inconsistent.
Tyler Hero, like it's been tough with them just knocking down shots, but the playoffs are starting. Jimmy Butler averaged 40. So
yeah,
all you guys gotta do is get in.
Playoff Jimmy's a real
Victor
thing.
Oladipo 2.0, like what?
He's playing well too.
Really well.
I'm happy for him, man. Like another guy that's had a lot of adversity, was an all-star. Like it's sad what he went through, and he just fought through it. And it's good to actually see him.
You like Cody Zeller?
Producing.
You talk about Turkey. Omir Yurtseven got some playing time last night. That was good to see him. He's very
Wasn't he hurt for a while?
He was hurt the whole year, yeah. And he
finally
played at Seahawks Falls. But Yurt's an amazing guy. And, they brought Cody in to be the backup center. And Cody just broke his nose. So, but no, we're big Heat fans.
Lowry. When's Lowry coming back?
Don't mention that name.
He's come back. I know you don't. It doesn't feel like it, but he did come back 2 games ago. So, but he's it's been an adjustment. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just trying to avoid it playing, but it's going to be tough the way we've been inconsistent.
Yeah, the East is stacked this year. You got the Hall, everything. Like everybody's just so
bunched up there at the bottom.
crazy.
I think you guys get 6, and you might get 5 if Brunson doesn't come back. We need Brunson back to kind of get this thing rolling again.
One of these
he has like a sore foot, but I think it's he hurt his ankle against you guys against the Heat game here in the second half, and he tried to play through. He played through that game, and then he played a little bit of the next game. Then they took him out for a while, and hopefully he's back. I know he's not playing tonight, they said, so we're back with quickly, and hopefully we get this one. We need this one.
Yep.
Definitely, Joe. All right, well, we won't hold you up any longer. Tell our followers and our friends of the show, where can they find you if they want to stay in contact with you, social media? Where can they find you?
So my Twitter's at Coach JRod12, and then my Instagram is just at Joey Rodriguez 12. So those are my 2 social medias. I'm always posting about Knicks, NBA stuff, college stuff. I probably should post less, but I enjoy getting on there and talking to people and interacting with people. Like it's fun. So I'm definitely going to keep doing that.
Sure.
Hit me up anytime on there, man.
Appreciate it. Well, we appreciate your time today. It was perfect time to have you on the show. Obviously, we love March Madness, and it like I said, it's madness. Who knows what can happen out of it? And I am going to, that UCLA pick over UNC. That's crazy. Wow. But your lips to God's ears, so we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Well,
I appreciate you guys having me.
No, thank you for joining us, and wishing you, Coach Ballard, and FIU Panthers tremendous season next year. Moving ahead, hopefully, good recruits coming in, and getting FIU back in the big dance. Right, it's been a while. It's a program that has had NBA players, Carlos Arroyo, Raja Bell.
Oh, I love Carlos Arroyo.
So it's time to get the Panthers back to prominence. We're hoping we're rooting for it.
And good luck.
Working hard. Yeah, man. Working hard now, doing that. We had a really young team. Like there's times we had 4 freshmen on the court with the sophomore. So we feel really good about the future. We're working hard in the portal and with high school kids now, and we actually feel really good about this upcoming year and just the whole program itself moving forward. We have really good leadership with Scott Carr and new AD, and just feel really good about the future of FIU.
And if you're in the portal, definitely, give them a look. I mean, exciting program, best court, in the whole. I mean, it's basically the ocean coming out into the court. It's amazing to see. Yeah, right. So absolutely.
Going to college in Miami, man, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good time.
So,
all right, Joey. Well, we appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys.
Good luck to VCU in the tournament. We hope you guys go far. Maybe another Cinderella story, and we'll see what happens. But thanks for joining us, and we'll talk soon.
See you guys.
Thanks, Joey.
Bye.
All right.
That UCLA thing still got me. I don't see it. I don't see it, but he knows basketball. Obviously, the guy knows basketball.
Yeah.
He coaches basketball.
Yeah.
Cinderella story. That would be so wild.
So look, I know people in the past have accused me of front runner this and the other. Not at all. I tell it exactly how it is, even when it hurts. I am an Arizona fan, and I hate UCLA. I just think they have a really good team. They're experienced. Like I said, they were hurt.
Yeah.
They were down 2 starters in the Pac-12 championship game. They still almost won. And I think they're going to be a run. But you got to respect what Coach Joey Rodriguez says. So I might have to tinker with my bracket a little bit. But no, listen, it was awesome having him on the show, right? Getting his story. I remember when I first met him, he mentioned, and I was like, wow, it took me back to seeing that amazing run that he went through, and we loved getting to hear him relive it and tell all the stories of it.
Definitely.
All the perks that he had along the way, right?
I know. Lived vicariously through him.
A shooting contest with Steve Kerr.
Wild.
George Lopez, one of my favorite comedians. He's so funny.
He's so funny. He's so funny.
Joey had a rock star experience, man. I'm glad he was able to come on.
Talking about funny, if you guys missed the show last week, we were talking about like quarterbacks and obviously that shook up the thing. I wasn't expecting Mr. Homeboy Jets to come with us, which is fine. And Lou was talking about the Baltimore Ravens. Instead of Baltimore Ravens, he said the Baltimore Raisins. So once the show hits an hour point, which we hit now, Lou gets into bear mode. So he starts like thinking about food, whether it's the Kansas City chicken, KFC chickens, KFC Chiefs, or the Baltimore Raisins. So with that, we're gonna wrap up the show tonight. Obviously, real quick, you all know Dolphins have had some really big news. We were in the pool the other day, and my phone goes off ESPN alerts. I'm sure a lot of you guys have ESPN alerts on your phone, and with that, I got a text message from my boss. So when that happens, it's like, oh man, something really bad happened, because he's like my ESPN times 2. And he was like, Jalen Ramsey. And I'm like, what about him? Like, did something happen to him? My goodness. And he was like, Dolphins. Well, Lou, no one saw that comment. So I was like, Jalen. I'm like, where do you got Jalen Phillips? Where do you got Jalen Waddle? What are you talking Jalen Ramsey? So Lou's in the pool floating like a whale. And I'm like, Lou, emergency.
Why gotta be a whale?
Okay, you're floating like a swan. And I'm like, Lou, emergency. He was like, what, babe? I'm like, Dolphins just signed somebody big. And you're like, who? And I'm like, Jalen Ramsey. And you're like, what? So that was just like, drop the mic. What the heck? That was crazy. Yeah. Obviously.
And my big question to you was, who did we give up? And then you tell me,
I'm like,
Hunter Long and a 3rd round pick. And I'm like, and who else? And who else?
You're like, Xavier Howard? Did you give up your ovary? Like, what else did you give?
What a great move. They really got rid of a player that's been here 2 years and hasn't done anything at all. And then, a 3rd round pick, which again, what is a 3rd round pick?
Number 77.
Yeah.
Exact.
No one knows what that's going to turn out to be, if anything. So getting Jalen Ramsey, of course, we freed up a bunch of cap space, created cap space, and moved money around. And now we know why. Not only do we get Jalen Ramsey, we also signed David Long Jr. He's a linebacker, a playmaking linebacker out of Tennessee, which is, we talked about it numerous times on the show.
Yeah.
We needed help at the linebacker position. Unfortunately, Jerome Baker hasn't been a playmaker the last year and a half.
Yep.
So
picked up to his 5th year. That was news.
Huge deal.
We
signed his backup. We got a guy, Mike White, who, as a member of the Jets, came in and had some big games, had a big upset against the Bengals. And unlike Teddy Bridgewater, who absolutely did nothing for us, and whenever he took the field got hurt, Mike White is a tough kid who, gutted games out and got, when his number was called, was able to get in there and stay healthy. So, again, we hope we don't see him because we want Tua to be the guy and have a healthy season.
Yeah.
But nice to have a proven quarterback that did good work this year, unlike Teddy.
Did you see that picture of him that leaked out?
Yes, I did.
A little 3-year-old, a little cute
dolphin. He's a homeboy. He's a local, kid down here. So he's returning back home, and he's got a couple pictures out there in the Dolphins.
So
here.
That was
awesome.
Sweet. Obviously, Mo starts back. My
and
guy,
Wilson. That one I'm not too thrilled about.
Mostert?
So hold on, let me finish.
So
we'll get that. We'll get into that. Next week more when we go over free agency. But look, Mostert and Wilson, they were serviceable. It looks like they took turns. Having big games. It almost reminded me of a former Dolphin running back, Ronnie Brown, in his college day. It was him and Cadillac Williams going back and forth, and that's what kind of happened between Wilson and Mostert. So I kind of would want to prefer to have like a back that's established, a workhorse back, which I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to stick to that system. But look, if McDaniels could find a way to utilize them the right way, and they can each have a game, the running game works, I'm all for it.
What's up, guys? Catching up on the chat right now. We have Miss Finn, Chef Jew, Eric B. We have a viewer from San Francisco area.
Nice.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, welcome.
Cap, we got that white lightning, y'all.
That's right.
What's up, what's up?
We hope we don't see him, but we know he's there, unlike Teddy, who wasn't there.
Ant was here. Yeah, when Joey's on, we didn't have the chat on,
We couldn't
so
see it, yeah.
we couldn't see. But play that funky music, Mike White. Hey, I'm here for it. Amazing.
Right.
I don't know if Graham's in the show, but Graham, I got to tell you, obviously World Baseball Classic is in full swing. Both our motherland countries are still in it.
Amazing.
Lou with Cuba, me with Italy. Graham, what was up with
Joey with Puerto Rico. Joey
Joey
Rodriguez, big
yep.
Puerto Rico fan.
Those uniforms for Great Britain?
Yeah, I didn't like them. They looked
The
like
tee off. Did you see that as a uniform? The
No.
pitcher of Great Britain, his tee fell off his uniform when he's pitching. So there's a T on the ground.
oh wow.
Yeah, like the letter T fell right off.
Yeah.
So Great Britain, step up your game. Graham, if anything, underrate those uniforms. You guys look terrible out there.
Come on.
We would have paid for you. We have nothing but love for you.
But there are some great uniforms, and it's just been look. We went to games.
Oh, we went
Lone
yesterday.
Depot Park is sometimes more like a mausoleum. Not a lot of people excited, and,
Yeah.
and not a lot of boisterous crowd noise. But that was the opposite of what happened these last couple of days, and what's going to
Yeah.
happen as we get into the quarterfinals, semifinals, and ultimately the championship game, which are all in Lone Depot Park. And it's just been an amazing thing to see
So
the fans coming out. It's
yeah,
awesome.
no, it's amazing. I've always been a huge fan of the World Baseball Classic. I've been to many of them.
Incredible.
Coming back from like 2007 or no, it's 2009 when I was down here. The atmosphere is amazing.
The pageantry, the people representing their country. It's like the Olympics. It's like the
Graham's
World
there.
Cup.
I thought
People-
Graham was playing for the Great Britain baseball team. So we went yesterday. Miss Finn said, "Ash, why do you like Dominican Republic?" Well, hello. Have you seen the men on that team? No, just kidding.
Hello,
No.
I'm here.
Hello. No. My favorite baseball player of all time is Big Papi. My current favorite baseball player is Sandy Alcantara. And then my favorite Red Sox, Rafael Devers, all on Team Dominican Republic.
Former
And
Red Sox Pedro Martinez.
Pedro
as well.
Martinez, Gary Sanchez, who I adore. Then you got Juan Soto, Manny Machado, J-Rod. Like, I can go on and on and on. I just love the team. We're actually playing now. We're playing Israel. Score is 3-0, which is crazy because you think it'd be a lot more than that. And Dominican Republic is supposed to drop this thing in the bag, but I don't know anymore. Venezuela is like the underdog. But you just really don't know how this can go. We went yesterday, Dominican Republic versus Nicaragua. It was probably like a 80% Dominican crowd, 20% Nicaraguan, but just so much fun. Tomorrow is the big game that a lot of people are going to be watching. It is Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico.
Well, they got it right. If Dominican Republic.
Sheldon, hello.
What's going on, Sheldon?
He's like, I enjoy the show. Hello.
Awesome.
I'm enjoying
So-
you being here.
If the DR wins tonight, which it looks like they are,
Yeah.
they will be playing Puerto Rico tomorrow, and that will be an elimination game. Venezuela has already advanced, or if they win tomorrow, they'll officially advance. But essentially, they have already advanced because they beat both Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So tomorrow's game is a
Huge.
winner take all.
Huge.
The winner moves on, the loser is eliminated, and you want to talk about a rivalry? The DR and the PR going at it, it's going to be insane. So, and then on the other side of the bracket, you got Cuba going up against Australia and Japan and
Italy.
the mighty Otani. Shohei Otani is going up against your Italian team, and former the manager is the former
Mike Piazza.
the Hall of Famer and former All-Star great Mike Piazza. So it's really exciting. Another cool story that took place yesterday. I don't know if you got the name pulled up, but Nicaragua has had a tough go at it. They
His name's
lost.
Duque.
So they lost
Duh.
every game, and when we were up there, every team that's in Miami, not so much Israel, but all the other teams have top to bottom all major league players. Nicaragua has none.
I think one.
No, none of the Nicaraguan big leaguers. So yesterday, this one player, Duque, I don't know his last name, but he came into the game,
Ninth inning.
struck out the first, second, and third hitters for the Dominican Republic team, all in order. And after the game, as he's getting on the bus, a scout that was in the crowd from the Tigers, Detroit Tigers, knocked on the bus and said, "Hey, I need to see that guy that just
I
struck
could
out,"
ask him questions.
and offered him a contract. So
Yeah.
this guy,
Well, no, he struck out Juan
It's
Soto,
awesome.
Manny Machado. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like
but
he struck out
what a
Joe Schmo
I-
from the
I
corner. He
understand,
struck
but-
out some of the best players.
but
He
what
deserves
a
it.
what a great story
Yeah.
that is. So it's been a tremendous showcase for the sport of baseball.
Definitely no. It's so guys, just so you know, World Baseball Classic. It'll this weekend we'll know who's in the finals, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday being the championship.
Sunday and Monday are the semifinals, and Tuesday will be the championship game, all here in Miami. So
yes.
it'll be on Fox, I believe. The main network
Yeah.
is going to run the game because it's essentially like the World Cup. It's the world.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's a World Cup of baseball.
It's an all-star game of baseball.
It's awesome.
So much fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Guys.
No, sure.
Anyways, guys, we kept you here very, very long. I'm surprised Lou isn't saying World Baseball chips or cookies. When he gets hungry, he starts mixing up his vocabulary and using food vocabs. Anyways, shout out to Graham. It is Graham's birthday month, so happy early birthday to Graham, March baby. I'm not liking this daylight savings time. When I drove to work this morning at 6:30, it was pitch black out, and there was like zombies on the road because driving to Miami is already crazy. You have no room to talk. You sleep till 9:30. It's like
8:30.
It's like halfway through the day by then. But no, I'm telling you, this daylight savings time, I don't care about the extra hour of sleep. At 7:30 anyways, I'm either at a game or I'm in pajamas.
Listen,
so it doesn't do anything for me.
I'm sorry, you're wrong. Because even if you're getting up, there's darkness. But let me ask something. What are you doing if you're getting up that early? You're going to work.
I'm going to work.
Yeah. So there's nothing fun about, getting up at that time of the day and seeing darkness. Who cares? The most important thing is that now at 7 o'clock at night, there's light out.
Okay.
And you can still enjoy the day.
I'm either in the Miami-Dade Arena seeing my Heat play at that time, or I'm preparing you dinner at the time. There's no need for daylight for
and
me.
if you're walking over to the American Airlines Arena or whatever it's called these days,
okay,
you still see the sun out. Give me daylight all day. I don't care about
shots fired.
Spring,
great question here.
Spring forward year round.
Between Jalen Ramsey and Mike White, which player's claiming the number 5?
No, it's Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has a Super Bowl. Yeah, no, it's him. We talked about this last week as well.
Yeah.
It's all but a sure thing that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets. He cannot wear number 12. That's their name. He's retired. So what number is Aaron Cuckoo Rodgers going to wear in New York?
69.
What?
69.
69.
I don't know.
No, but listen, it's got to be Jalen Ramsey getting number 5. He's a proven player.
Maybe that might
Super Bowl champion. So yeah.
We'll see. No, so I know we didn't cover the Dolphins much today. We had, Joey Rodriguez. For those who came in late, Joey Rodriguez is assistant coach for FIU, Florida International University basketball. But something you may not know about him, he played for VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, in the 2011 season, and that VCU team made it to the Final Four.
As an 11th seed.
As 11th seed, March Madness. So he was part of that Cinderella team.
We talked about it, only one of 2 teams to go from the first 4 to the Final 4. So it's very rare that happens.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a Cinderella run, a historic run.
Yeah.
That was it. He lived it, and he shared his story with us, and it was awesome having him on.
Eric, pretty good point. Bridgewater was 5 or 6?
He was 5.
5.
Said he was,
so you would think. So I'm with Eric here.
Said he's gone. He's not.
I know, but so 5.
It's available.
It is available.
Right.
So
they're going to give it to the guy that won a Super Bowl.
Good thing.
I mean, that's what I say.
Graham, although I'm still 2 weeks away from my clocks going forward, I'd rather have late evenings than late mornings.
Yeah, see?
Graham.
I knew Graham was my guy.
No, Graham, maybe you guys sleep or something. Like I'm a morning person, right? Like I love waking up early, but I like waking up early when I have sunlight. I was in bad shape this morning.
Work. No, I'm sorry. I think you're wrong.
Oh, I was in bad shape.
Enjoy more time in light. I think whoever invented it it's a dumb concept. It should be like you should be able to enjoy the end of the day. Forget about how you start the day.
I disagree.
Yeah,
someone who works from 10:30 to 7 will say that because you get the extra hour.
Still get up early. Relax.
Dominican Republic just scored 2 runs, 5-0, top of the 6th. All right, guys. It's not very often that I get to see all these wonderful men. I mean, baseball players play on the same team. So I'm just kidding.
Guess who's not going to any more baseball games?
Stop it. Yesterday, we were at the DR Nicaragua game, and I was like, "Siéntate." Like I speak Spanish probably like 80%, right? And I understand it probably like 83%. But I was like calling the game in Spanish. So our pitcher would strike out these guys. And I'd be like, siéntate, which means sit down in Spanish. And Lou would say, what did you say? I said, siéntate. Lou's fluent in Spanish. And then I'd be like, ojos bueno, like good eye and stuff. Like it was like, are you sure you're born in America? I don't know. I had such a great time at that game, dancing and everything. So
got to take a picture with the trophy. It's just like I said, it's an awesome. If you got a chance to get out, there's still a couple games. If not, definitely tune in and watch it. If not, definitely tune in and watch it because the pageantry, the competitiveness.
Oh, another one.
Awesome
I'm in agreement. Later light makes for better evenings.
Yeah.
All right, guys, your team lose tonight. Clearly, I don't know. Maybe you guys were just sleep late. I had to be at work at 7, and it was terrible driving this morning. I'm like scared of walking to my car, thinking someone's gonna jump out of the bushes.
What?
Then I'm dealing with crazy drivers. Anyways, rant over. We've been on for a long time and you haven't eaten. So, guys, it's been crazy being a Dolphins fan this week. I wish we could have covered it more. But again, we had Joey Rodriguez on the show, and it was great to hear his picks. Again, he's calling for UCLA with the knocked out in the first round.
Upset in the first round. I was shocked to hear that. But listen, he knows his stuff. I wouldn't bet
would have put it past him. And then we all had Marquette in the Final Four. So checking your brackets, Marquette is a really solid pick. They both had Arizona in the Final Four. I have Alabama there. Houston Final Four as well, but they have some injuries. And then Gonzaga, I like Gonzaga, but we'll see how that goes. So anyways, guys, it has been fun. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Any bracket questions, don't ask us because who knows? It's March Madness. Anything can happen, right?
You know, it's crazy. So by the time, obviously, we take the air next week, we'll already be in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And so every year, Warren Buffett, one of the biggest, billionaires in the world, he always puts it out there. Look, I'll give you $1 million if you pick a perfect bracket. It's never happened. I mean, you could fill out 20 brackets. Fill out 100.
200 million.
What I'm saying, you yourself could try to come up with every different version. Mathematic geniuses try to do it every year. No one ever comes up with a perfect bracket.
Gotcha.
There's just too much going on. There's too many upsets. It's a perfect time of the year to watch all those games. So next time this week, we'll see what went down. Yeah,
went down.
There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff happening here. They call it March Madness for a reason.
And also St. Patrick's Day is this Friday. So to all my leprechauns in the room, go get your pot of gold.
Yeah.
And your drink on. You love St. Patrick's Day.
I love St. Patty's Day. Give me a green beer. Give me some shepherd's pie. Give me some.
All I hear is food and drinks.
That's what it's for. Throw some green beans.
Here he goes talking about
green beans.
He just said green beans. Guys, you know this is the point of the show when Lou starts changing his food. So anyways, guys, gotta go. It's been wonderful. Check out World Baseball Classic 5-0 DR. Big games tomorrow night, 7:00 tomorrow. DR versus PR. March Madness starts this week. And let's just see what else the Dolphins do. I'm here for it.
Yeah, wishing everybody a great week. The rest of the week, we did an early show this week because obviously Joey joined us. Thank you again, Joey Rodriguez, for coming out and hanging out with us and sharing your amazing story. But a Tuesday show this week. We'll be back to a Wednesday or Thursday show next week. And again, thanks for joining us early. Have a great rest of the week and a great upcoming weekend ahead. Enjoy that extra hour of sunlight. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. And that's all I got.
That was an excellent closing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.